Hello there! Welcome to Meeple University. Today's assessment is Dice Throne Season 2 and a little bit of Season 1 board game. Games about heroes fighting each other. We're going to take you through a brief overview first, then we'll go to our initial thought of the game coming up. Hi, I'm Stella. Here at Meeple University, we do a variety of quality board game videos. How to play, overview, review, playthrough, vlog, and our segment at Board Game Breakfast Dice Tower. So if you're new here, I'm glad you found us. Consider subscribing and hit the bell button to be notified when we post new videos. Now let's get to our brief overview.
In Dice Throne, players are heroes battling against each other to be the last player standing for the right to face the king and take the throne. The game comprises alternating turns in which players attack an opponent by rolling his or her 5 dice, and these dice are unique to each hero. The player may then perform up to 2 partial or complete rerolls, attempting to create one of the attack combinations shown on his or her player board. Attacks target a random opponent, a mechanism which prevents the group from ganging up on a single player, and the attack will deal some damage, as well as potentially inflicting some negative temporary effects onto the target. Alternatively, the attacking player may gain some positive effect tokens which can be saved for later attacks. Opponents have an opportunity to defend or sometimes counterattack when they are damaged. Players will also gradually build up a hand of cards through the game, which can be played to power up the player's abilities, to manipulate dice while rolling in attack, or some other effects. Cards can also be played out of turn to disrupt an opponent's attacks or scramble an opponent's dice. Cards all have a cost in combat points, and this prevents players from playing too many high-powered cards. The game can be played in teams or as a free-for-all. Players or teams begin the game with a certain amount of health, depending on the number of players, and the last player or team standing when all others have run out of health wins the game.
If you don't know how to play or what the game is about, hope our brief overview gives you a bit of idea about how Dice Throne 1 or 2 plays. We're using Dice Throne 2 for demonstration, so I'm going to be focusing on Dice Throne Season 2 in this review. Now let me start talking about the theme. The theme of the game is quite straightforward. So you are controlling heroes to play with that special ability of each heroes has. So it's a bit of a asymmetric power there. It's pretty straightforward. I do like that different type of heroes has got matching type of attacks. For example, Samurai has got Bushido, Calamity, Katana Slice, and so on. They even have different dice for each heroes matching the type of attacks, so that's really cool. The game, similar to King of Tokyo and King of New York, it has that Yahtzee mechanics where you roll the dice and re-rolls and trying to make certain combination out of the dice that you get. You can modify the dice as well with the cards that you have. I think the cards makes a little bit more random, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Mechanics and gameplay. Well, there's a bit of dice rolling, so as you know, it's highly luck based, and the card throwing as well, it's quite heavily based on luck. I feel that though you need to play the games a few times to get the feel and the game rules, so that the game can go quicker because of the smaller detailed rules of the type of damages, where it is defendable or not, whether you can modify it, whether you can enhance it or not. There is though a little chart in the rulebook you can always refer back to, so that bit is handy rather than having to, like the first time we play it at least, we're not sure whether this particular damage is defendable or there's just little finicky rules that after a few play though, it is fun. And we feel like team versus team is more fun rather than just more than 2 players. So we played 1 versus 1. It feels like if it's 2 people just rolling dice, throw dice at each other. But when it comes to team versus team, it's more fun and also more social. There's 2 versus 2 versus 2, or 3 versus 3, and free for all. My favorite is 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. There is also a small level of strategy involved with the cards. So it's not just dice rolling and draw the cards and see what happens. So you can, to a certain degree, there's like a small level strategy, but mostly it's heavily, it's based on luck. And what good about team versus team, that it has the mechanics that you cannot target certain person in the targeting roll phase, where you deal the damage, and if there's more than 1 opponent, you roll the dice to see who gets attacked. It is possible that not all games actually has got these mechanics. I don't remember any games that has got these mechanics. This is especially good, I think, when kids are playing together, because if there are kids that tends to kick up a stint when he or she gets attacked with the die roll, it just makes it a bit more random. I'm sure that there are people that don't like it as much, as well, as it may take away some of the strategy that exists. Now, Season 2 has got variant that you can choose opponent to attack. So it balances it so that you can target who to attack as well. So you can always use that variant if you like. The thing that could cause a little imbalance in the game is the way the card works in addition of the dice roll. Especially if your cards is not there, you kind of like know what's happening. But because of the cards there, you have this big deck of cards. It may cause a little bit more chaos, because when we play, you probably only use about 20%, 30% of the cards. I play with Tarrant, and I think he feels this way also because the type of gamer he is. He likes a bit more structural game, I think. So this adds more chaos. Well, I quite enjoy slightly unpredictable elements of it. There are cards that are more powerful for comboing, and getting that ultimate attack is basically the aim of the game. I think if you're lucky enough to draw that, then your combos work really well, rather than just keep getting the small power up cards. You can discard your cards to get points you need for more powerful cards. That bit is fine, so that probably balance it out. But in theory, it is a good mechanic. So if you wait for a number of turns perhaps to bring out the more powerful cards, the cards itself adds more chaos, but it adds a little bit more strategy to it. Replayability, I think the game is highly replayable because of the number of heroes you have. You can combine Season 1 and Season 2. So in Season 2, I believe there are 8 heroes. Season 1 has got 6, so you have plenty of heroes to choose from, each one with unique power, asymmetric power. Plays 2 to 6 players with combinations, as I say, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 2 versus 2 versus 2, or free for all. So the different type of team plays itself gives a lot of feel and flexibility, and each different people that you play with would probably feel different as well. I think though it still needs to be played a few times to understand the little rules better to be for the game to be a party game, which is fine, because then if you play a lot, then you can choose different hero each time. The component and artwork, it looks great, even from Season 1. It was already pretty cool with 6 sets of trays that you have, and then they step it up again on Season 2 even more with 8 different heroes, and you can get it from 4 different small boxes as well. It has game trays, the artwork's even better, and even the box feels really good. And the player board. The player board is the thing that you can fold, you can stand up. Of course, if you want to play, you need to lay it out on the table. Yeah, components really pretty. So I believe the designers have designed only Season 1 before designing Season 2. So Nate Chatelier and Manny Tremblay designed Season 1 and then now Season 2. And from what I heard, I think they're gonna have Season 3 coming out, which is really cool. That means there are more heroes that you can play with. The game length or the downtime, I don't think it's not a lot. It's a quick action each player. Either way, you need to watch anyway what your opponents are doing, so you can't really get distracted, and it'll be quick and you you have to see what other people are doing just in case they attack you, and most likely they are. Plus, we have to do our defense rolls. The type of group this game you like to play with, I think pretty much all from casual gamers to heavier gamers if you want a lighter game. It's almost like a party games, again, after a few plays. I think it will be good with kids 8 years old and above. They would have fun. I feel like adults would probably have more fun with the team-based rather than 1 versus 1 or free-for-all. But at least that's for me anyway. And that's our assessment of Dice Throne Season 2 and a little bit of Season 1 as well. We hope that you find this lecture useful. Feel free to agree or disagree, this is our thoughts after all. If you enjoyed this video, please let us know by hitting the like button, write your questions, feedback in the comment sections below. You can also join our Facebook group, Meeple University Community, to share your love of board games. If you'd like to be one of the first ones to be notified of our next video, please click the Meeple in the corner, subscribe to us, and hit the bell button so you get notification of our new videos. And finally, Dice Throne 2 and 1, pass with honors.